All right, guys, for the Maiden on this Pt-17, I'm going to actually have some other guys that are here at the club. I want them to try it out, and you're going to see them fly it and get their opinions of this plane. Stick around.
Nice guys. Very scale looking. Yeah.
What do you think of the power?
Power's pretty good.
Overpowered, underpowered, just kind of just right?
Just right.
So again, we're flying this on 4S 4000 HRBs. Flight time in this is at least 9 minutes. You could fly this for a long time in the air. Great flight times. Thing I thought handled on the ground pretty well too. Seems to turn pretty nice. Take off. You can literally take this thing off in 4 or 5 feet.
A lot of power.
Feel free to take it up if you want, loop it, roll it. Give yourself some altitude with it. Keep the power in it, have at it. And again, this is a World War II trainer. It has low ailerons on it. So the aileron authority is decent. It is not going to roll like a drill bit just by plane design. This would be one of those neat modifications that you could probably cut some ailerons into the top wing if you wanted to and link them if you wanted more roll authority. But I kind of like scale stuff. All right, cool. Nice landing. So we're going to bring this thing back to the hangar, guys. We're going to get Dave's opinions on what he thought of the old Pt-17, and we're going to pass it off to someone else and get their thoughts. We'll be right back. All right, guys, so we're going to kind of wrap this up. Here's our pilot, Dave, that just tried out the Pt-17 from Dynam, from BitGo Hobbies. So, Dave, what did you think about the flights? The takeoff, the landing, the power? What do you think?
Flies better than I thought it would. I think it flies more like a balsa plane than a foam. I don't know if it's because of the weight of it, and you know, it's not real light. feeling. You know, it flies scale and has a lot of nice scale features to it. It even has rib stitching on the, probably can't see it with the camera, but little tiny rib stitches in the ribs.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, appearance-wise, what would you give this plane?
Probably like an 8.
An 8? Pretty cool. As far as flight characteristics on a scale of 1 to 10, for, you know, keep in mind this is at the price point of $200. What would you give this thing?
An 8 or a 9.
Nice.
Flight.
Okay, cool. So, so there was Test Pilot Dave. We're gonna get around to some other club members, let them try this thing out. But I appreciate you guys joining me, and appreciate the flight, Dave. Thanks much. So this is another club member giving this thing another flight. So basically the Pt-17 is gonna have 3 maidens on it today, coming off of grass, and we'll get his reviews or his thoughts on the flight afterwards. But just letting you guys see, different, same plane in the hands of different pilots.
I feel like I'm shooting at it. That sight.
Yeah, the aileron rate in it isn't super fast. You know, you can mess around with the linkage to get some more throw in it if you want more throw, but it's a slow rolling plane. If I had to say that I would personally upgrade anything, I think I would personally upgrade just the amount of throw on the control horns in the servos. But again, this is a World War II trainer plane. It's not meant to be a big fast roller. It is a big barrel rolling plane, which is decent, and it has good power. In order to do that, you do need a little bit of altitude with it, but otherwise, I mean, it's a decent flying scale-like plane. It has nice weight in the front of it to really balance it out. I'm at the aft end of the recommendation on CG on this. Again, having to use the 4000 pack to get it. It has nice rudder authority to kick it over, and you know, if you wanted to do a stall turn or something with it, the rudder works really well. Inverted is a little bit of pressure to hold it inverted if you want to, but a pretty easy to fly plane out of the box once you put it together. It didn't need a whole lot of trim or messing to get it to fly.
How'd your flight go?
So Donnie just got done with the flight on this thing, so why don't you tell me about your flight on the Pt-17 from Dynam and BitGo Hobby. What were your thoughts on the power and how it flew?
I think it had decent power for, you know, the size of the plane. Flew really nice and stable, that's for sure. It would be a good, you know, early stage flyer plane.
What do you think about the looks of it, the way it looks out the box here?
I think it looks pretty cool. You know, you have that stitching detail on it. You know, it's really nice color scheme on it.
Bright wire.
I like that navy scheme that it has. The way that it handles in the air, it handles pretty good. I think, you know, if it was my plane and I was going to do something with it, like Brendan had mentioned earlier, maybe throw the aileron throws a little bit heavier, and I may even cut in a set of top ailerons into that top wing as well, just for, you know, give you a little bit more out of it. But I mean, for the price of this plane, I think it's a great flying plane, and it worked well.
Nice. Well, I appreciate you guys flying it for me and testing it out. And if you guys are interested, you know, there it is, the Pt-17 from Dynam and BitGo Hobbies. You could check out bitgohobby.com, pick yours up. I think it's a cool little plane. I like the flying wires and stuff in it. Again, you got to tote it around just like it is, guys. It's not going to come apart. And I think a little pilot with a scarf would be a nice touch in here. So maybe we'll have to add that in at some point. But Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed some other pilots testing this thing out. We're going to cut into my maiden flight of this and hope you guys enjoy it. All right, guys, here we go of the Dynam Pt-17 from BitGo Hobby. This is going to be our maiden flight. First time we're taking it up. Running a 4,000 milliamp HRB. Timer's currently set for 9 minutes. We're going to fly this thing off the field on high rates. First time in the air. Let's get going. Gonna need a little bit of trim here. Still working on a trim and pass. It's a little bumpy here today, not too bad, but it is a little windy. Takeoff seemed pretty effortless on the grass. Grass isn't very high right now or thick. Barrel roll right there. That was at the high rate recommendation for ailerons. We'll come over to field here at full speed. A little bit of down elevator pressure. We'll take it up, roll it upside down, come around. So power-wise, it's okay. We are hauling a heavier battery than recommendation, but we needed it to make the CG work. The thing turned out to be tail heavy, so we, instead of adding weight, which I think adding weight is just a waste, I went with the bigger battery to get the longer flight times in it, which I think is helpful. The plane right now is flying about half speed, so it's pretty good, pretty stable. Come around here and I'll do an inverted pass and we'll see how that feels. So a little bit of down elevator pressure, not too bad. Wind gives it a bounce or two up there for sure. It's a biplane. Bring it into a Cuban. Bring it around. Back into another Cuban. Take it up for a stall turn. Nice. Does really nice stall turns. That's pretty good. Not a super fast roll rate, guys, but we are flying a World War II trainer biplane with only lower ailerons. So it is not a super touchy aileron plane, but nice barrel rolls, which I think are kind of scale. You do need to be about full power here on the climb out to really gain some altitude. So it does need to fly with some power to climb out, but otherwise it's pretty good. I mean, low speed characteristics right there, we're below half. We have to hold in some up elevator pressure on it to keep it level. Power up. Take her up and do another stall turn, kick in that rudder. Nice. Power off, level off, power back up. A little slower roll to the right than the left. That could just be the aileron set up there. So overall, a nice flying plane. Again, the price point of this plane, guys, is not super high. You're talking a plug and play, so you put in your own receiver. You're talking 200 bucks for this plane. It is not a super expensive model, and I think I got more value than my money. And I think that's what's key to me. This is not a $500 plane or a $600 plane, but this thing for 200 bucks flies like I got more value for it than the price. I'm pretty happy with it. Got a little bit of down elevator pressure to keep her flying around, but it turns nice. It's fairly stable. I wouldn't call it a beginner plane. It's definitely not an advanced level plane in my opinion either, but it flies pretty decent. So we'll take her up one more here, and then let's hit a loop with this thing and try and land it. So we'll gain a little bit of altitude, some airspeed, big loop, track's nice, back through. Nice, has good authority on the elevator, and again, I'm flying this thing in high rate, so it feels good. And now we're gonna start to bring it around and we'll land it. Rudder has good authority on this thing. Swing in over the tree, start to cut power. I'm about 2 clicks in right now. Little rudder. And there we go. So we will call that, guys, a maiden success of the Dynam Pt-17 from BitGo Hobby. All right, guys, again, it's Brendan from Just Plain Crazy. I hope you liked the review of the Dynam Pt-17 from BitGo Hobbies. Pick yours up today. Again, I think it's a good plane, especially for the price point. You know, again, checking that thing out, I had to run it with a 4,000 milliamp pack in order to get the CG right for the money. I don't think you can go wrong here. Again, if you like it, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and select all. We got to appreciate the shameless plugs, right? And hey, you're Just Plain Crazy too. Let's spread the word. Let's pick up a shirt from the merch store. It's down in the description below. You can click on the link, pick yourself up a sweatshirt. It helps to keep the channel ad free, as I like to do, and helps to promote it. So I appreciate it, guys. I hope you're Just Plain Crazy too. Till we catch you at the field. Peace out.